The Conductor has been revealed, Maya Sundaresh. A new lorecard details how she plans to use Vex Radiolaria and technology to usher in a new golden age of discovery through Vex coercion. She also seems to be working on a twisted experiment involving her own lover Chioma from the Veil containment audio logs. Let's take a look. We finally got to meet the Conductor. After weeks of content, Saint, Osiris, and the Guardian go face to face with our new antagonist who's been building a Vex army, is able to control beings through Radiolaria, and seeks to bring back humanity's golden age of discovery, technology, and living through Vex consumption. We explained some of that in yesterday's video recapping that week's story, but a new lore entry was also released titled Glass House, where Chioma describes the Vex network they explored, and the Conductor details a much bigger goal here on Nessus. Maya Sundaresh picked an iridescent flower from a well-manicured flower bed on a mossy lawn outside a cobblestone cottage. She hardly noticed the slight, unrealistic gloss of the petals, or the brief digitized hitch that acknowledged the flower's removal. Nearly perfect. The VexNet was accepting their code inputs. Chioma was right. They could, in fact, build a life here that consisted of more than neon blocks and dissecting minds. Maya thought back to a year prior, if time meant anything anymore, when they were still lost, searching for other iterated copies of themselves. If Chioma had not convinced her to stop, to stay, to seize obsessively pushing forward to find an end she could not define, she saw what became of the other Mayas who could not let go of that drive. But now, under Chioma's direction, they would build a haven, a safe stopping point for anyone traveling the VexNet to rest and gain their bearings. She hoped one day they would reach outside and bridge the divide between this reality and her old one. But that world had never truly suited her. She found its lack of objectivity exhausting. It was quiet, and over time they learned how to manipulate the network for their own purposes. So long as their changes weren't too large or too disruptive, the Vex let them be. Perhaps their meddling had made the Vex curious enough to study them and see what they would do. At any rate, this had slowly become a life Maya felt aligned with. She was happy to pick her flowers and study the embedded law of code within the network that studied her. "Maya, come quickly, I found something." Chioma's voice sprang up over the radio. "What did you find? You wouldn't want me to spoil the surprise, would you?" Maya rolled her eyes back but smiled. "No, I wouldn't," she said under her breath, shifting dense brush aside as she stepped out into a simulated forest to make her way to Chioma's voice. Chioma, mouth wide in wonder, knelt over a wrecked goblin frame, its shimmering radiolaria gurgling from containment vessels and split tubes. An arc discharge had heavily damaged it, and the radiolaria sizzled as it welded circuits and plates back into working order. It worked! Maya nearly tripped over her feet as she rushed to kneel by Chioma's side. "Do you see how?" Maya nods. "It's repairing itself." Chioma swatted at Maya's hand, too close to radiolaria. "And the micro?" Maya side-eyed her wife, but continued. "Individual pluripotent organisms, specializing and homogenizing as needed, like they're learning, unlearning, uploading, deleting." Maya grabbed Chioma's thigh, treating digital and physical matter synonymously. "How?" "We're digitized flesh, so if they can, we could change, like we changed this place, theoretically." Maya looked to Chioma with pride. You. She met Chioma's eyes. She looked up to Maya from the twitching frame. "Brilliant." "See what happens when you listen to me?" Chioma kissed her, an exciting peck, and then drew back. "Things improve," Maya smirked. "Now we have our radiolaria sample. What would I do without you?" "Spiral," Chioma said, pursing her lips to contain another grinning smile as she harvested the radiolaria. "Now we follow your plan, Maya." "Yes, With Radiolaria, we can bend the network even more. This place will be a beacon for all of us who find themselves lost. Maya grabbed Chioma's hand, brushing dirt from her knuckles. Thank you for stopping me, for making me stay. I don't think I've ever said those words. You never had to. Chioma stood, still holding Maya's hand. Come, one last surprise. See the sunrise I made you. The conductor looms over a shredded exo Chioma frame, dead and inoperable. A ragged face hangs by synthesized threads of skin from a metallic cranium. She coaxes the faceplates from the exo's head with a wave of her hand, and then gently lifts a scalpel from the operating table. This one is damaged beyond what a standard reinitialization can handle. Repairs are required. The conductor's metal hand draws the scalpel across Chioma's prosthetic flesh. She drags the skin back from the abdomen and applies a clamp. She trades the scalpel for a syringe and injects Radiolaria into the dormant core and cerebrum. The new Radiolaria splinters out in every direction. Dormant Radiolaria within begins repairing the frame as she operates. See how it assimilates the dormant microbes. It is fascinating, she thinks. Chioma's eyes snap open. She tries to wrench her restrained head down to look at the searing pain in her open metal stomach. She tries to scream, but produces no sound. Get it all out. When you're done, I have some questions. So this is a great card. We know there are many Chiomas and Mayas and Ishtar scientists here in the Vex network from when they released 227 copies of themselves into it. We also know that Maya died in the conductor's chair and likely entered the network herself. Same with Chioma. Before her death, she left a message saying she would give herself over to the Vex in the hopes of finding Maya one last time.
Chioma Essie. Personal log. Incidental. Maya's dead. I found her in the conductor's chair, alone. Nobody knows what she was doing. Maya has to be out there. The Maya I remember. And all I want is one more moment with her. To hold her in my arms. Tell her that I love her. So she can tell me to hush one more time. If we learned anything from the Veil, it's that eventually we all have to learn to let go. So I made contact with the Vex. I'm ready. And it's time to say goodbye.
In the end, Maya Sundaresh was consumed by her desire to understand and her inability to let go.
Now, I'm not sure if the ones exploring in this card are copies or the researchers themselves through various means like entering the network upon their deaths, but regardless, the characters are here. In the network, we see that Chioma just wants to stop here in this beautiful place and build a haven for all of those who get trapped or need a little rest. They pick beautiful crops, go through digitized forests, and encounter a beautiful sunrise. Maya, on the other hand, was the complete opposite, hellbent on searching for these versions of themselves, while Chioma's like, just stop for a while and enjoy this. These two have a history with Vex and Radiolaria. They discover a goblin here repairing itself with the Radiolaria and realize how vital this tool could be in reshaping this Vex domain and maybe even the outside world. We've also heard dialogue like this from Veil Containment about Radiolaria and Siva before. If you're tired of the Veil Containment clips, I apologize. It's just kind of interesting to look back at it now that we have some answers in echoes. As the conductor describes in the new cutscene and also in this lore, with Radiolaria she says she can bend the network even more.
Research log. Siva. Siva is a nanotech fabrication system, intended to be used by Exodus ships to rapidly build necessary resources from base matter. Maya calls it Willow Bray's obsession, without a hint of self-awareness. But we both see the potential it poses for the future, Each nanomachine in Siva's design is an independent, thinking machine, utilizing a distributed quantum network to coordinate movement. Like a mechanical version of Radiolaria. Probably where the design was inspired from, if I'm being honest. But the design can be pushed. We're looking at ways of incorporating components from disabled Vex and erased exominds. If we can insulate the nanomachines from the radiation that killed the exos, maybe their deaths won't be for nothing.
From the content we've been able to play through, the Conductor is Maya Sundaresh, either a copy released into the network that escaped, Maya herself from the Conductor's chair who died and entered the Vex net, or a combination of both. Regardless, Maya Sundaresh is this Conductor. The end of that card gets pretty crazy. The Conductor is using Radiolaria to try and fix a version of Chioma. She tries to bring back a version of her to get some more information.
Maya Sundaresh, risen from the Vex network.
Maya Sundaresh and Chioma were a married pair of researchers in the Golden Age. Their work often touched on the Vex. Maya wanted a chorus that could channel the power of the Veil. And to control that chorus, she built an imprint of herself named Lakshmi. Soon afterwards, Maya entered the Vex network. She left no trace. Other Mayas and Chiomas were already inside, simulated hundreds of times by the Vex. It's possible that the Echo brought many Mayas together into the Conductor. Or perhaps only the first.
So we have some different things going on. The Sun 12 card and the new cutscene show us that the Conductor wants to vexify everything with Radiolaria and control to bring back humanity's golden age in a way she sees fit. Radiolaria is the means to do that, convert things in the Vex network, possibly even in our real domain here. Maya is also obsessed with timelines and wanting to find information that tells her she was loved. This is likely where the Chioma madness starts to come into play. Maybe we'll see that in Act 3.
Humanity called to me. The collapse, the Black Fleet is finished. Now we can look back to what we've lost. Radiolaria is the means to this end. It represents the smallest unit of consciousness. 1 trillion formless minds, notes in a symphony of thought. Each one begging for direction, for a conductor. The Radiolaria I command will be spread throughout the system. I will deliver us a golden age.
But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.